So much joy sprang forth as Lawu and her husband, reunite with the family in China. This is a great news and is so much like a kind of, a blessed news to them. Hello everyone, welcome back to another segment. Into this episode, we're diving into a Chinese family based in China. The news of Lawu returning back from Tanzania is so much like a kind of so much happiness, is a kind of so much joy that fills our hearts with so much happy, and we are so glad that they did and they returned back to China with her husband. Wow, this is a great news, and we actually have been expecting this. I've been hoping for this particular news. We've been sitting tight to watch when she will return, and surprisingly, she actually did. She returned back to China. The system of the government in all state is far differ the system of government in Africa, and also the system of government in China is so much differ, and should be looking to. If you check very well, you found out that every state has what guides them and what like a laws that embody and keep the people going. A place without law, what will happen? There will be devastation, and the people will not have a leading, and the people will not have direction here, and they will not know what they are doing. But a place with law enforced, law embodiment, you find that things move on first, things will go home well. That is the case of I think the situation that occurred Lawu and her husband earlier when they got married, and I think the visa problem was the first issues that they had, and they have to solve it. And how will they solve it? Will they boycott the system? Will they boycott the law? When law is being stamped, when law is being signed, it is law and law on its own. So there is no how they were able to escape it. There's no how they were able, to divert or to run away from that should I say punishment or facing the law. So they have to face the law. How do they do that? Well, according to our respondents, I think they said that the law where the Chinese people, I think the Chinese government have to send them back, and one condition, because the people are so quite so young for them to go with the baby, because there's a kind of humanizations that needs to be carried out for the baby, humanization and other important, yes, other important hair care rendering service needs to be done on the baby. So there's no how they should be carrying and the baby all the way from China to Tanzania, all the way from the Chinese environment to Africa. It looks so much kind of stress, and I so appreciate the system for considering. The law was able to consider the child, was able to consider children. So laws gives equal punishment to both human, like both children and adults. But your law was able to consider the child to step by, and that was the reason why her Chinese grandma have to take the responsibility of a mother, and she actually did so well without the head of none. Yes, just with the aid of her husband, she was able, they were able to stand still, they were able to walk hand in hand, and then you can see that everything is just so smooth, and we are able to create a kind of relief for African lady and her husband over in Tanzania. Yes, during the process of stay, there is usually or often focus to check in how they're doing, and how they're proceeding, and if there's any challenges, they try to reach out and then give some advice, which was being taken by Chinese grandmama and also Chinese grandpapa. Yes, the one handling the work, yes, is actually, they actually need to be appreciated. Mostly our Chinese grandmama who took her time, not minding her age, not minding her stature, not minding her health. She have to play the role of mother, taking care of the baby, day in, day out, mostly in the night, the early period when the baby is being born, the night period, the night shift, the crying, all those wahala. I call it wahala, permit me to say that. Yes, she handled it with a motherly care, with a lovely care for her daughter. Yes, I call her African lady her daughter because she cherished her so much. She loved her, and also because she actually loves her son, that also she extend the love to African lady. So whoever our son loves, she loves the person to heart, and that is how love is. And apart from the love being shared, the family actually has been built from all sides with love. You can see the way our Chinese grandmama is doing her stop, and she actually looking pretty young, and the happiness that sprang her face, her body has actually made her to be more younger than her age. Yes, the joy that sprang forth, the beauty of life, the beauty of togetherness, and the beauty of success, and the beauty of welcoming a new person into the home. It is indeed so perfect a joy that cannot be, should I say, a joy that cannot be broken. That is the case of a Chinese grandmama. See, then let's wait for the coming of Lawu and her husband back from, the Tanzania environment from Africa. We can't imagine how the joy will flow. I in person will be so much filled with so much joy. In fact, all of us are just waiting for that particular day that Lawu and her husband, return back to China to reunite with our Chinese grandmama. All right, this is where we're wrapping up today's episode. I hope you're enlightened on today's package. Please just stay tuned and stay blessed. And always remember, lovelies, stay good for now. Bye for now.